Welcome to Caesar Snack Sandwich. Today we're going to take a look at GRO protocol. Now I've seen this for quite some time, but I kind of took a quick look here and there, and then now I've just, I've decided to take a deeper look at this and see what's going on inside here and what they have to offer. Now there's quite a few products. If you go inside to the dApp here, they have this vault, this password, these pools, rewards, and these labs. I'm going to explain all of these with a flowchart, but just to give you an idea of some APYs we're talking about, like these are all stablecoin APYs. So you're going to get 17% on your stablecoins, and then you're also going to get either 6% in GRO governance tokens if you claim these immediately, or 22% in GRO if you decide to take them over a 1-year vesting schedule based on the time when you press the claim button. So let's go over to the flowchart and I'll explain to you how all of these products work and so forth. But this website is quite nice. Like there is a lot to see inside the dashboard here. You can see all kinds of interesting stuff that you'll understand what it means after I explain to you how this protocol works. So let's swing over to the flowchart and go through that now. Okay, so here we are on the flowchart and we have our famous dollar bill and boosted bill. Now dollar bill's conservative, he wants safe yield. He's not too interested in gaining tons of money, but more about, having some protection. Then we have boosted bill who just wants lots of dollars, right? Lots of more dollars, and he's willing to take on the risk of losing some money. Now, so they have these two products, and there's the password or PWRD token, and there is the vault. Now this is the low risk and the high risk, or well, I wouldn't call it high risk, I'll call it higher risk. This thing tranches the risk of this thing here. So first thing we have is they both can deposit any of the three major stablecoins, DAI, USDT or USDC, and receive back a token that is, a token for their position. So USDT goes in, and PW, they get minted PRWD or PWRD. This I'm going to call it password. Okay, password token and vault tokens into their wallet. Now, these tokens, these stable coins, these core stable coins are used with, there's a whole bunch of smart contracts doing a whole bunch of kinds of things, but basically they give these to these smart contracts, and then these smart contracts basically decide where to send the money to get some yield. Now, as you can see, they measure the exposure of individual stable coins, and ones that are considered, higher risk or, but risk versus yield, they try to reduce the exposure to those specific tokens. Or so basically they consider USDT, USDC, and US DAI as much safer than these other ones, and they expose themselves more to these as well. However, there is some protection between USDT, DAI, and USDC. So they have some risk parameters to that even if DAI fails, then USDC and USDT will be protected to some extent. Okay, so they distribute the funds that they get into the 3-pool token of these other LPs, and then they put those into convex, which of course interacts with curve to produce yield, and then they gain some yield. Now, what do they do with this yield? Well, first they want to make sure that this password token or the password is gaining its interest, right? And it is gained to the user as rebases. So slowly, if you have 100 password tokens in your wallet, after some time, you'll get rebases of more. So you'll have 101, 107, 112, and you'll just have more and more password tokens inside your wallet. Now they do these small rebases so that they don't get front run, okay? And the second priority is to increase the value of this vault share token. Because why don't they just do rebases on this side as well? Is because this vault share token, this vault holds most of the funds, and it protects the value of this one. So if something were to happen to any of these tokens or any of these protocols that they're using, and it doesn't have to be convex, they could send it to somewhere else if somewhere else, some other opportunity were better. So if something were to happen to these, then this P word or password token is protected by the value of the tokens inside the vault. And for this protection, the password token pays a premium to the vault. Now, how does this work? Now, think of it this way, okay? So let's say he puts $100 in and he puts $100 in, and it gets sent out into here. He will get maybe he will, after 1 year, he will have $105. However, and he will have maybe $20, right? Now, why does he get more and he doesn't get more? Because he's paying them for the right of this protection, okay? Now, so this is considered kind of leveraging. If he puts $100 in here, he's also going to get the yield from some of dollar bills, $100. So maybe he has $115 or $20 or $30 producing yield. That's why this one, the APY, is so much higher than this one. Okay, so this is kind of how it works. Let's move on to the next thing here. So anytime you want to leave, there's a tax. They call this a fee, but I like to call this a tax. So anytime you pull money out of here, you lose 0.5%, and that is left inside. Okay, that's left inside the contracts for the other users who basically stay in and don't do anything. Okay, just leave their money there and forget. So in both cases, okay, so they have this withdraw tax, okay, that pays for the remaining users. Now, over to the next part. Now, we also have this GRO pools. They call them the pools, where you can basically stake your tokens. So you can take your PW and you can stake it into the GRO pool, or you can take your Vault token and stake it into the GRO pool, or you can provide liquidity on password 3 pool token on Curve and stake that into the GRO pool. Now, why would you want to do that? So that you can earn some GRO token. Now, these GRO tokens that you would earn are governance tokens. They allow you to vote. Now, there is this one vote called vote number 5 that kind of give you some examples. I'll put it on the screen here now, where you can kind of see some of the things that governance has changed in this protocol. Now, it's a pretty open-ended governance system where, you propose something, everybody votes, and then that the team will try to deliver on that. It's not specific perimeters that I can find, like, oh, this exact fee or this exact thing are the only things you can change. No. Okay, so now there's more to this than that, okay? There is a time lock vesting contract on these. Now, basically, you can take 30% of your rewards now and do with them as you please. You could sell them, you could hodl them, you could give them to someone else, whatever you want to do. Or you can take 100% of your rewards vesting over a year. So let's say you're building up some of these tokens. Let's say that you have 100 tokens here, and you're like, oh, I want to do something with them. So you could claim 30 of those tokens, and then the other 70 are just left in here to boost the other people who actually chose to vest. Now, if you choose to vest, then 100 tokens will come to you over 1 year. Now, as some time progresses, you gain more tokens in this reward because you still have staked your PW or your LP or your vault still staked here, so you're gaining more, and then you can decide what to do again. You can claim and vest and extend your 1 year again, and so forth. Or you can always at any time just say, oh, I want 30% of what is there. So basically the vested ones, let's say you have 10 vested, you get 10, and then you get 30% of the 90 that are left over. So at any time you can decide to exit, but you're always going to only get 30% of what's not vested to you so far. Now, what else? Now what can you do with these governance tokens is you can supply them to Balancer in the 80-20 pool, and you can stake that for more GRO tokens, and of course you'll get trading fees here as well. Or you can supply them to Uniswap, where they have GRO Vault or GRO USDC, and again stake it for more GRO tokens if that's what you want to do. Okay, so next part. Now there is a performance fee on all of this yield. Now the performance fees is currently set to 5%, and that 5% is used to buy back GRO tokens from the market and give them to these long-term vestors. So boost the vesting contracts of people, but 10% of this 5% is given to the treasury for DAO purposes or whatever the governance decides to do with them. Next we have another product, okay? Outside of this ecosystem, we have what they call Labs. Now, Labs is a new product on Avalanche that uses basically stable coins. So the stable coins are it's not like this where it doesn't matter which token you put in here, you will get the same Volt share token. Here you decide which one you want. If I have DAI, I put it into the DAI lab. If I have USDC, you put it into the USDC, or USDT into the USDT. Okay, and then one of these, they all have their own. It doesn't work together, but I just wanted to save some arrows. So let's say he puts USDC into the USDC one. Then the USDC interacts with Alpha Homora and does a 2x leveraging up of farming Avalanche and USDC on various farms that Alpha Homora has in their system. I'm not going to explain all of this Alpha Homora, but basically you borrow 2x and you make a LP and you start farming it. This is all happening behind, like you just have to put your USDC into here and all of this happens in the background. Now, so you're ending up borrowing Avalanche. Okay, so that's important because Avalanche has price action. It's not a stable coin, right? So in that case, there are going to be times of high volatility, especially where the price of Avalanche grows like one directional, just keeps going up or just keeps going down, and this can cause this farm to have a lot of risk. So these labs will automatically pull out of the position, but they won't pull out all at once because that'll cause like front running and MEV and slippage and so forth. So they pull out in increments, small increments, and then as the thing stabilizes and becomes like a crab market, then they will start adding back to it and so forth, with inside a ribbon of like price action. Like something like this might not be what they consider volatile, something more parabolic or something. I'm not exactly sure. You would have to ask. So this pretty much covers the entire system, the entire ecosystem. I think this product's pretty good. It's been around for quite some time now. This Labs is a little bit new, right? It is new. But this bottom section has been around for quite some time. The TVL is not too impressive. I think it's like 43 million, which is not bad. And, of course, it's not, can't turn your nose up on that, but, it's not exceptionally high. So the APYs are pretty good. I really like this idea of like being able to have a Volt or a safer investment and so forth. And so that pretty much covers it. I hope this has been useful, and thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.